Hey, stay-at-home mamas. I am very behind on my videos, so I am coming to you today to do day 9 of our stay-at-home mom pep talk challenge. And I think this one is so fitting for what I was going to do this yesterday, but today was the perfect example of today's topic, which is expectations versus reality. We all have our expectations, right, of how we think our life is going to go, or even just day to day as a stay-at-home mom, how we want our day to go. Yesterday, our day did not go as planned. We had a rough morning with our toddler, which is normal. It happens, and here she comes on cue for my video. So I'll let her say hi before I carry on. Say hi, friends. And so I didn't get a chance to get everything done that I wanted to get done yesterday in the morning, at least, and so that kind of threw me off, and I was just not feeling. Whoa, burp! There you go, live TV, guys. I was just feeling off in my gut. I've just been having some days where I just have not been feeling well. I think it's just related to stress and just coming off of last year. I think it's really hitting me. So, and just stressed with other things with our health benefits and other things that are going on right now. So there's like 3 moving pieces, I'll put it that way, just to give a short version, so my body, I think, is physically feeling it. So anyway, so yesterday was just not a day. We also went over to my parents' house to celebrate Linda's birthday, to have just this little small get together with her grandparents. Hey, Karen. And I tried on the way over to get the video done that I was going to do for our series, in the car, but that didn't work. Linda was not having me have any time to do that either. So yesterday, I just didn't get anything done, and that was okay though. I mean, it was just one of those days where it just seemed like it was maybe a sign from God that, okay, today it's just not going to happen. That's okay. So expectations. Some days it just doesn't go like that, especially when you're a caregiver and a stay-at-home mom. So there you go. And then just coping with the reality. And that was our reality. And that is the reality for any day, is that, or life. You have these expectations of how you think things are going to go, but then something totally throws a massive curveball into your routine or your day or your overall life plan. Whether it's, let's say you didn't plan to get married, you planned to get married sooner, and you didn't meet your spouse or partner, the right one, until later in life. That's okay. For us, another thing we went through was infertility. We tried for 6 years before we were blessed with our miracle 2-year-old daughter. It was hard, those 6 years, but at the same time, the timing couldn't have been more perfect, because it was so important, I think, that looking back, that we needed that time as husband and wife, because we had some other rough patches, which I won't get into right now, but it made us, having more time together, I think, really made us ready for when we did have Linda, because we'd had our time with each other, and it made us more ready to embrace parenthood and embrace this new chapter, because we didn't have any regrets. I feel like we both feel like we were true, like it was the right time. We didn't want it to take that long on one hand, but on the other hand, God knew what he was doing. It was the right time, because we were able to get on track, a little bit more on track financially, and be ready to tackle parenthood. We'd had time with each other to grow as a couple, and then just to bond. And then I think that really also set us up well for what we've been through in the last year and what we're going through now. So things happen for a reason. It's interesting. Sometimes hindsight is 20/20. In the thick of things, it's like, why is this happening, or why are things taking so long? But then you look back and you're like, well, it wasn't fun, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad X, Y, and Z didn't happen exactly when I wanted X, Y, and Z to happen, because I wasn't ready for it, or and I needed more time to be ready for it, or it could be another reason, and that's okay. So with fast forward to where I'm at right now, where you, at a stay-at-home mom and being a caregiver, is at right now, I know it's hard, that your reality is not what you expected, what your expectation was. I mean, I know we all just plan when we get married and or commit to a partner and we start raising a family. We just are so excited, and we have these expectations of looking forward to a nice, long, healthy life, thriving, and just making memories and doing all the basic milestones that any couple or family does, and that's okay. And that's what we want, and I definitely hold space that I want that for everybody, but the reality is life doesn't happen that way. And I think it's important to allow yourself the grace, to give yourself grace and just breathe, kind of like what I had to do yesterday. Like, there's so much going on in our lives right now between my husband's health and, his treatment and trying to get my business going, my own health, chasing after a toddler, trying to figure out financially how to live and stay within the rules of what we're trying to do, and definitely feeling at the same time at peace and totally focused in my choice and with no regret, as does my husband. That we definitely don't regret that I left my job. I left the corporate world to become a stay-at-home mom. It was by far the best choice we could have done, because I'm getting more opportunities now with building up my business and having a chance to touch people in a new way and be there for people and advocate for people who are not being advocated to. That is such a privilege and such a joy, and I am very passionate and feel very strongly in my heart and my soul that this is where God wants me to be. So I have no regrets about that. But of course, the reality, there's still there's still the struggle of dealing with the reality that life is not how we thought. Daryl is almost 20 years older than me, so naturally when we got married, I knew down the road there'd be, as you age, your body just struggles and you have health problems, and that's normal. And so I was, expecting, when he would get into his 80s and I'd be in my 60s or something like that, that'd be kind of more the timeline I would expect health problems to naturally just start hitting, right? Instead, we were only 8 years into our marriage, and wham, we got hit with the ultimate life change in health for Daryl that was not expected. No medical history, no either from his family or as a child. So that was just totally unexpected. So that for us has been really hard, because it's one thing if you have a family history or something and you can mentally prepare and that okay, there's the possibility, it's kind of on the radar. But this was totally not on the radar, I think, is what has been so hard for us. And I'm sure some of you guys are going through that. That's really tough when it's not being anticipated that X, Y, and Z diagnosis is going to happen, right? So not being able to ask family members for medical history in terms of having tips or tricks to deal with this disease, or any other correlating complications or symptoms that go with this disease that they might have experienced. That's been hard, and just so that just makes walking through this even more intense and more frustrating. And the fact that Daryl up until that it was so out of the blue with epilepsy. Daryl is just unfortunately in that just small percentage of it randomly happened. It's one of those diagnoses where he didn't have any family history. He didn't have any issues as a child, and then now all of a sudden out of nowhere it's hitting him. And so that is just really frustrating too, to not only be diagnosed with something so life-changing, but to also be dealt a hand where we didn't get that anticipation either. It wasn't something that was even in his family history. So there's no, so that's really hard to deal with in the reality aspect. So, and I don't know what situations you guys are going through, and I want to hold space that it's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to feel scared. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to have hard days. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. And I just want to encourage you and let you know that that's why I'm here. I am creating a space so you guys have somewhere to go. to talk about these issues, to talk about what life is like when you're dealing, when you go from just living your life normally to being thrust into the ultimate scenario that you never saw coming from left field. It is hard. It is scary. But I want to be honest about what our journey's like, so I can inspire you and help you and give you a safe place, even if it's to cry, even if it's to vent, even if you're just stuck on the question of why. Why did this have to happen to my loved one? Why did this have to happen to our family? Why did it have to come amid a pandemic? I don't know how long you guys have been on your journey, but for us, it's just been over a year.
No.
And the fact that this did have to
No.
happen, at all, but then on top of a pandemic, so then all the normal ways that you would deal with such a situation are not as existent right now, because everyone's trying to isolate and be safe and not spread the virus and protect their families, which I don't get me wrong, I understand and I totally support, but it is hard. It's hard when we're living. Hey, Amber, it's so hard when we're living in a life of isolation and not being able to connect in the normal ways. So I really want my space to be a place where it's a way to connect. It's a place to feel safe. It's a place to get out all those emotions of frustration, of being scared, of being angry, of being overwhelmed in a safe place. That is what the kind of space I am wanting to hold for you and your family. So I have started some discovery calls. I'm going to start taking clientele or in mentoring. So if you want to talk further with me, more one-on-one, I would love to chat with you. I would love to chat with you. So head to my website, tyrosupermom.com. There's a link for a discovery call page there. You can sign up there. There's a link here on my Instagram. You can sign up there. I have links over on my YouTube, and if you go over to Facebook on my Tyro Supermom blog page, there's a link over there as well to my Calendly, and you can sign up. It's free. It's totally free. 15 minutes. So this is just a first. So the first call is free, just 15 minutes. I would love to talk with you, and if you would like to work more one-on-one for mentoring, I would love to work with you. I would love to work with you. And I do have other stuff coming. I have some courses coming. I have some other stuff coming that will be paid. I'm gonna just be flat out honest. It's paid, but I do have some stuff coming that I want to share with you guys. And and I just want you to know that you are loved, you are prayed for, and as always, give yourself grace. You're doing the best you can. No one knows your family like you know your family. Okay? I am in your corner, and you do not have to go through this alone. I know it's scary. I've been very scared this last year. I was actually just talking to Daryl last night. I mentioned that to him. It's like I actually verbalized because I'm processing my own trauma, and I told him last night. I said, "Hun, I was so scared about losing you last year several times," and he acknowledged that. He said, "I get that," and he knows because it's. Here's the last thing. I know I keep rambling, but this is stuff I feel like in my heart you need to hear. As the person that's actually being diagnosed and going through it and losing the independence and dealing with all the side effects, the symptoms, that's one aspect, and that's scary. When you're physically going through it and dealing with the medications and the appointments and not being able to do certain things like driving or being left alone with our child because we never know when an attack's going to happen, that's scary. That's hard. That's frustrating because it feels like things are normal, everyday things are just being ripped away from you. So that's hard. But then as the caregiver, seeing your spouse go through that is hard because you want them to be back to their normal self, and just knowing that this is and being in the situation where it's not a simple fix. You can't just slap a Band-Aid on it or do surgery and just boom, just or do rehabilitation, like after you break a limb and do surgery and then do rehabilitation therapy. It's not like that. It's not a black and white fix. So as the caregiver and the spouse or partner, that is hard. That is so hard. And then to be scared about the potential of losing your spouse, and then dealing with your children being scared. Linda's been so scared. I will say, if you guys have small kids or even kids that are older, I totally get that overwhelm and frustration of how do you tell your kids and assure your kids as their mother that, you know, your dad or partner is okay. You know, he's going to be okay. He's just sick. You know, there's something that he has going on. He or she has something going on, but it doesn't mean that, you know, that it's that, you know, that they don't love you or that they're mad at you. You know, it has nothing to do with that. It's just they have something going on, and so trying to make them feel safe and encouraged is hard too. I get that, especially with when you do have younger kids, and then with your older kids, just I can understand the frustration and overwhelm for them trying to figure out how to verbalize and process it, of them struggling how to
No.
share their
No.
heart
Stay away
and
from there.
emotions in a healthy way, and to feel safe, like it's okay to be angry that daddy's sick or their partner's sick, or that that they're scared that something's going to happen, and I know as a parent we can't, you know, God only knows the number of days that we are here, and death is a very real thing that we will all have to face. But at the same time, I know we don't want to overwhelm and scare our kids, that we want to be open that, you know, death is a part of life, but at the same time, there's hope. And that, you know, we're doing everything that we can as moms and partners and wives, that we're doing the best we can to care for daddy, to care for our partner. So I totally get that. And that is hard. That is so hard. Linda's only just turned 2. So, but it's been interesting, I know, over the last year, just watching her. Especially when I had to send Daryl to the hospital on some occasions for safety because he was just struggling so. She freaked out. I mean, it was hard. It broke my mother's heart so hard to see her cry and just stroking her dad's face and not understanding why daddy wasn't waking up or why daddy was acting different. She could tell that even though she couldn't verbalize it per se, she knew something was wrong, and she was scared. And obviously, as the mother, I want to make sure that she's safe and that she's not scared and not add to that. But at the same time, you know, how do I balance calming my own mother's heart? How do I balance that? I mean, that was so hard, of balancing my own mother's heart and going, okay, I'm trying. It's like, Lord, help me, help me, help me, help me. I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen with Daryl. Because of the pandemic, I couldn't go to the hospital with him like I usually would with other health issues we've had with him. So that was hard. And Linda's crying and scared and frustrated, and I'm scared and frustrated and feeling isolated because I can't go to the hospital and just all the impacts of the pandemic. That is so hard. So, anyway, if you would like to work with me, please reach out. I would love to work with you. I would love to help you. I would love to give you a safe space. Leave any comment down below if you have any questions, or DM me. I will be happy to DM you. And if you'd like to work more one-on-one, definitely sign up in the link, and I will get on a Zoom call with you, and we can go from there. All right, mamas. Today is Sunday. Rest, enjoy time with your family, and I will see you tomorrow in our video, okay? And we will start the week fresh, in hope, in faith, and in love. All right, mamas. Love you. Bye. Let's see, where the heck is the... Okay.